Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating paradox from our source material. We're talking about the utterly exhausting reality of putting in back-breaking, non-stop hard work and seeing absolutely zero reward for it. So let me ask you something. Why do good workers so often fail to get what they actually want? Seriously, think about it. We all know someone, hey, maybe it's even you, who is always the first to arrive, the last to leave, just grinding away endlessly. And yet, they're completely stuck in the exact same place year after year. It's incredibly frustrating, right? Putting in maximum effort just to watch the rewards completely pass you by.
You work hard every single day. I mean, we've got to acknowledge that daily grind. The alarm clock goes off, you hit the ground running, you put your head down, and you do the work. The effort is 100% there. The energy is absolutely being spent.
But are you getting what you actually want? That's the real test here. Is all of that sweat and exhaustion actually translating into tangible results? Or are you just kind of spinning your wheels on a treadmill, sprinting at top speed but staying in the exact same spot? Well, if you're feeling that frustration right now, I have some good news. The core of the formula we're looking at today doesn't require some massive, complex manual. It actually boils down to just one single word. Ask. That's it. End of story. It seems almost too simple, but asking is actually a totally essential art form. The source material points out that just being a good worker simply isn't enough anymore. You've got to step up and be a good asker. And asking simply means defining what is it that you actually want. Section 1. The mechanics of receiving. Pushing the right buttons. Let's look at how the simple act of asking triggers this really unique mental and emotional process. Okay. This brings us to a huge trap a lot of us fall into: roots versus fruit. Some people are completely obsessed with studying the roots. They feel like they need to know exactly how the underlying machinery of the universe works before they'll even take a single step. But the source makes such a great point here. You don't actually need to know exactly how it works, just that it does work. It's like pushing a button. You push it, and the machinery starts. You don't need an engineering degree to know how the button connects to the wires behind the wall. So I gotta ask, are you busy obsessing over the roots, or are you ready to just start picking the fruit?
Because here is the crucial realization. Receiving is automatic. The machinery is already plugged in and ready to give. The real problem, the actual roadblock keeping you stuck, is not that receiving is hard. The problem is your own failure to ask. Asking is what kicks off the receiving process. You have to be the one to initiate it.
Section 2. Trade in your teaspoon. Approaching the abundance of success. This is all about how we view success and how we so often put a lid on our own potential before we've even started. There is such a stark contrast between the good worker and the good asker. And honestly, this is the tragedy of the modern grind. The good worker wakes up, hits it hard every single day, puts in crazy hours, but they don't have a single scrap of paper with their goals written on it. Zero. Nothing. They are a fantastic worker, but a terribly poor asker. The good asker, though, they actively define what they want. They put it down on paper, and that completely changes the dynamic. Think about what you're actually drawing from here. The source material defines the world in a really simple way: the ocean. The ocean is a place of massive abundance. Success is not in short supply out there. It's not being rationed. It's not like you step up to a little window to get your daily allowance of success and the guy says, sorry, we're all out for today. No way. It is an endless, massive ocean of opportunity. So if that's true, if success is literally an endless ocean, then what on earth is the holdup? Well, the problem is that some of us are walking up to this massive ocean of success carrying a tiny little teaspoon. Seriously, what size container are you bringing to the ocean right now? You need to trade that teaspoon for at least a bucket. Approach that abundance with the expectation that you're going to receive abundantly. And hey, as the source playfully points out, you'll look a lot better down at the beach, and the kids won't make fun of you for holding a tiny spoon. Section 3. The methodology of asking. The 2 non-negotiable rules of the formula. All right, now that you've got your bucket, here's exactly how you use it to master this goal-setting formula.
There are 2 totally critical variables you need to make this asking machinery actually work for you. Step 1. You must ask with intelligence. And step 2, you must ask with faith. Let's break down exactly what both of those mean right now.
Intelligent asking isn't passive. It requires absolute specifics. How wide? How high? How soon? When? What size? What color? How much? Listen, you cannot mumble to the universe. Mumbling gets you absolutely nowhere. You've got to be clear. You have to define exactly what you want and describe it in vivid, crystal clear detail. Clarity is power.
And why does that clarity matter so much? Because well-described goals literally become a magnet. When you define exactly what it is you want, it creates this intense magnetic pull. And the better you describe those desires, the stronger that pull becomes, drawing you straight toward that specific outcome. That is exactly why you have to ask intelligently.
But intelligence alone isn't going to cut it. And that brings us to the second rule. We have to contrast adult skepticism with childlike faith. This is a huge warning. Do not fall into the trap of adult skepticism. As adults, we are way too skeptical. The true formula works like this. You make your plans, you figure out the specifics like a smart, practical adult, but then you believe in them with the unconditional, uncompromising faith of a child. That childish, imaginative part of the equation, that is exactly the spark that makes incredible things happen. Section 4, the 90-day challenge, becoming a doer. All right, we've covered the mechanics, the scale of what's possible, and the methodology. Now it is time to take this framework and actually put it to the test. 90. That is the magic number. The source issues a very direct challenge here. Just try this formula for 90 days. Grab a piece of paper, write down your goals with absolute specific intelligence, and then believe in them with that childish faith. Just try it for 90 days. Remember, your risk here is literally zero. If it doesn't work out, you can always go right back to your old ways. But give it those 90 days. Because ultimately, as this quote nails so perfectly, the world admires the doers. Look, you can consume all the information in the world. You can memorize every success formula ever written. But passive learning changes absolutely nothing. You have to take active, definitive action. You have to step up and push the button.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, lingering thought. Will you trade your teaspoon for a bucket today? Will you stop blindly grinding away and start asking with true clarity and absolute faith? That ocean of success is waiting out there. And trust me, it has plenty to go around. It is entirely up to you to decide what size container you bring to the shore. Start asking, start doing, and we'll see you on the next explainer.